सर नमस्ते।
Today we will study
Yes, sir.
gains from international trade.
Yes, sir.
Gains from international trade is the sum of gains from exchange and gains from specialization.
Yes, sir.
When international trade is decided, then in the first case, whatever is available in the domestic market, some portion is exported, some portion is used for domestic consumption. that is known as gains from exchange. पुष्कर जी आप पढ़ो तो उसको.
Gains from international trade is the sum of gains from exchange and gains from specialization. GIT, that means international trade, is equal to GE plus GS. Gains from exchange means whatever was available in the economy, some portion is taken away from domestic consumption for international trade. This is gains from exchange.
Have you written?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At point E, there is domestic equilibrium. Total amount is HE. Total amount is HE. This is wine. E point of domestic equilibrium. Now international trade is PE. Price line PE is international price line. Which touches E point. The country will export VE and import VC. With the available commodity. There is no specialization, there is no any arrangement. Whatever available in the economy, HE, but BE for export. And EE is exchange for BC. BE export. BC import. Import of cloth. Here wine is a cloth. Export of wine. This activity is known as gains from exchange. Whatever country has, country exchange some portion of domestic product or some portion of foreign product. This step is known as gains from exchange because country moves from G1 to G2. Country moves from G1 to G2, that is movement upward is gains from exchange. Country gains from exchange moving from lower indifference curve U1 to higher indifference curve U2. Moving from point E to C, higher point, higher indifference curve. And what country did? Country did not disturb anything. It has taken some portion of domestic goods, exported and imported more amount of foreign product. So export quantity is less and import quantity is more. This is pure gains from international trade. Country moves from U1 to U2. Do you follow, Abhishek,
Yes, sir.
to explain this
Yes, sir. Sir,
diagram?
first of all, the AB is the production possibility curve, and PD is
You,
the domestic
you,
price.
you speak slowly as
Yes,
if
sir.
you are teaching us,
Yes, sir.
not reading out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Step by step, you tell me that
Yes, sir.
where country was, where country is.
Yes, sir. Sir, from the diagram, AB is the production possibility curve of the economy. In the x-axis, there is wine, and in the y-axis, there is cloth. PD is the domestic price line, and the domestic equilibrium occurs at point E, where the indifference curve U1 is tangent to the production possibility curve. So the country takes away or exports VE amount of wine to another country and imports VC amount of cloth from that country at the international price of PE. Hence, the new equilibrium point occurs at point C, where the indifference curve U2 is tangent to PE. So, by exporting VE amount of Y from its domestic consumption, it imports VC amount of cloth. Hence, it reaches a higher indifference curve from U1 to U2. And this is gains from exchange.
Uska, you tell me.
Sir, here on x-axis we measure wine and on y-axis we measure cloth. AB is the production possibility curve. Initially, the country is at point E, where domestic price line PD is tangent to community difference curve U1. Now here, total production is HE. Now out of this total production, country exports a part of it, that is VE, and in exchange, country imports VC amount of cloth. In the process, the country moves from point E to point C on a higher indifference curve, and this is known as gains from exchange.
Correct. Galan,
Sir, initially, AB is the production possibility curve, and price line is tangent to it. In this, there is no export, but when the country is indulging in international trade, then he will be able to export only VE amount of good, and in exchange for that, he will be able to get VC amount of good, and he will move from a lower indifference curve to a higher indifference curve U2, where it will be tangent to the international price line. So overall, the country will gain from the international trade.
this is called what do
Gains
you
from
call it?
international trade. Gains from
Gains from
international trade.
exchange. International trade तो है ही. Gains from exchange. This is not gains from international trade. Gains from international trade is gains from exchange plus gains from specialization. One step we have to analyze further. So this is called gains from exchange. That country has exchange domestic product or foreign product. And thereby, country moves from lower indifference curve to higher indifference curve. This movement is known as gains from exchange. Now, what country will think? Country will think to produce more commodity which is exported. Country will get time. Country will specialize in the production of wine and increase production at foreign price. Increase production at foreign price. Foreign price will be parallel to PE. This is gains from exchange and this is gains from specialization. Country will specialize in the production of wine and export of wine will be larger.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, why this line PE? P is touching at point E. The same in this diagram also, in the previous diagram also.
It is not touching, it is parallel to the original line PE dash.
Okay, okay.
It intersects. Therefore, that is not equilibrium. Equilibrium is at PE C1 point. Look there, both are parallel lines.
Sir, if PE dash and PE are parallel, the values are equal or not equal?
Values are equal, but there was no specialization in PE
Yes.
because a specialization requires tangency. Tangency is at F. But this E PEE is a first stage. No production, whatever thing available that will be shared, that will be international trade will start. International trade will start. But that price line is not tangent to PPC. Therefore, original line will be PE dash. And this line is parallel to that.
Mhm.
In the first diagram, I did not bother to draw the last one. I have started to make a conception. You conceive my point. Now I draw the line tangency. Then the middle line will be of no use because country will move upward. Country will finally reach to the C1. That is why C1 is gains from international trade. Gains from exchange plus gains from international specialization. Gains from international trade is equal to gains from exchange, gains from specialization. From here, U1 to U2. From here, U2 to U3. But here, U1 to U3.
Sir, it means international trade consists of two things: exchange as well as specialization.
Yes, exchange is the starting point of country has opened international trade.
Yes,
There
sir.
is no any specialization for international trade. Local consumption is shared and it is better for the country. They shared a small amount and they received more amount. Thereafter, a specialization will take place and under a specialization, more production of wine will be done, larger quantity will be exported, larger quantity will be imported, and country will move to the third independence. That is the final point. That is the final point in this case.
Yes.
Sir, after
Sir?
specialization, the equilibrium point of consumption will be at F, and equilibrium point of production will be at F, and equilibrium point of consumption will be at at C1 point. Is it that?
Yes,
Okay.
at C1 point.
At C1 point.
Still higher
Yes, sir.
than the previous condition because more quantity is exported, more quantity is imported. Consumption level will change, production level will change, and a final point will emerge due to international trade. First step by the intermediary step,
Okay.
that whatever they had, they shared it. India had shared vaccine to many foreign countries. COVID-19 injection is shared to foreign countries by India, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Was India shared. India had given vaccine to many foreign countries. And now India is importing. So in the first stage, only whatever available production, some portion is shared because international trade is available. And then a specialization will occur in that field. More specialization, more production, more export, more import, and a final situation will U3. Final situation consumption is C1. Consumption has also shifted from E to C to C1. Production has also shifted from E to F. Is it clear? Now we explain Pushkar.
Yes, sir.
You explain this diagram.
Sir, again, on x-axis there is wine, on y-axis there is cloth. AB is the production possibility curve. Initially, the domestic point of equilibrium was at point E, where domestic price line PD was tangent to the community indifference curve U1. Now, with the available production, whatever the production was available, the country exported a part of it, that is VE, and in exchange, country imported a part of VC import of cloth. So the country moved from point E to point C, but this is not the equilibrium point. This is just the gains from exchange. Now the specialization will occur, and the country will move from point C to point C1. At the point C1, this is the final point of consumption where community indifference curve U3 is tangent to the price line PE dash, and the point of production would be at point F, where this PE dash in price line PE dash will be tangent to the production possibility curve F. So this is the gains from trade, I think.
Country is at E point on price line PD. And community indifference curve U1. Country is at E point on price line PD and community indifference curve E1. Now international trade starts. With existing production. At international price line EE EE exported and VC1 imported. Country moves from E to C, from U1 to U2. This is gains from exchange. Now, international price line dash, which is parallel to is tangent to BPC at F, and production equilibrium shifts from E to F. Country now exports E1C1 at U3.
Sir, V1F, I think.
Now exports U1F
F.
U1F at U3 and U1C1 at U3. Now exports U1F at U3 and U1C1 at U3. This is called gains from specialization. From U2 to U3. From U2 to U3, it is gains from specialization. 4 पॉइंट था ना क्या 0.4 है
जी सर.
now we find movement from community difference curve U1 to U2 and gains from exchange from U2 to U3 and gains from specialization. And by adding both we get gains from international trade. Gains from exchange U1 to U2, gains from specialization U2 to U3, gains from international trade U1 to U3. This proves that gains from international trade is the sum of gains from exchange specialization. Lalan clear है ना?
Yes, sir.
In all cases, this diagram will be drawn in the final examination. You will get any point at many places you can use this diagram in international trade section. Because this is the heart of the international trade theory. That gains from international trade is not one-fold, it is two-fold. First of all, domestic production will be shared for international trade. Domestic consumption will be less. Of wine, but in place of large quantity of cloth will be added. So you the domestic market, there will be celebrations. They are getting higher indifference curve. Then country will decide to specialize in the production of wine and get more gains of specialization. So in the second stage, more production will be done, more specialization will be done. International trade price line will be tangent to PPC, and final production will increase by larger quantity. Then country will export more, import more, and finally country will shift to another higher indifference. Then the story of international trade is complete. The story of international trade, which has started by exchange, entered into a specialization, and that is the final result. So gains from international trade is not absolute. It is relative. There will be gains from exchange and gains from specialization. And it will go further. If more specialization, more production, and country will move to higher indifference curve. So international trade leads to economic growth. International trade leads to economic growth if country production increases and more production increases. Increase in production means increase in economic growth. That's all. That's all.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam.
डायग्राम को 2-3-4 बार पेंसिल से कीजिएगा ताकि कितना टाइम लगता है, so that
Yes, sir.
it is a type of filler. In any answer you can fill it up. This diagram is given by Ellsworth. लिख लीजिए नाम, P.T. Ellsworth. This diagram is given by P.T. Ellsworth, international trade economist.